Okay, so hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can tell from the title of today's video, it is about how to get good grades or how I got good grades, right? Um, basically, um, my first semester is over, and like I'm really happy. I thank God that my grades were good, like my grades are beautiful, and actually I wanted the title to be like how I got all A's in my exams and stuff, but then I'm like, uh, I don't know what like you guys have for your goals and stuff, but then basically how to get good grades, right? um because to you good grades may be like getting a B or nothing less than a B, right? So basically the video is just going to talk about like getting good grades or what I did or what helped me, right? So I was just thinking about it and I was like, oh, um yeah, it would be nice to like give you guys like some tips and everything. Yeah. So number one on my list is know your priorities. So basically the reason why I say this is because number one, I know that we are all like from different families or we're all coming from like different backgrounds, right? So and people like have different things that they're struggling with. So knowing your priorities for me is like I know that like so for example, someone like me, I'm a YouTuber, right? But then I also know that like school is like my first priority. School is the reason why I'm here, right? So I cannot allow like my YouTube stuff to distract me from my academics, obviously. Yes, because like I can even tell that like even my parents, they were like, my father was like, "Oh, are you sure this your YouTube thing is not going to distract you and stuff? If it's going to distract you, keep it aside and blah 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 and things like that." And I'm like, "No, it will not distract me." But then even at times where like it looked like, "Oh, I hadn't produced a video for so long and stuff," but then I had academic work to do, but like I knew that YouTube can always wait. I have to do my like academic work. This is my priority. This is why I'm here. If I don't do well in school, number one, typically African parents, right? If I probably like did not do really well in school, my dad would probably my dad or my mom or somebody we shall be, oh, it's not, are you sure like your YouTube channel is not distracting you and things like that? Are you sure you don't have distractions and stuff like that? So you need to know your priorities, right? So that when both of them are clashing or when you have to choose between like choose between like two different things, okay, this is more important, right? So basically I had to make that choice like a lot of times this semester, um especially between my YouTube, also between like I think what else? Sometimes it was like enjoyment, right? Not like it's not like a rest because rest is important, but then like just wanting to relax and enjoy myself, blah blah blah. I was like, maybe you're in school, you're here for like school and everything. You need to get good grades and stuff. I'm not just saying you need to get good grades because like good grades is what I need. The good grades. I like getting good grades. I feel happy when I get good grades. So yeah, and also like if you're also working, right? Like if you're working, you also need to find the balance between your work and your school, right? um something that has stuck with me is that balance is not always like 50-50, giving two different things like the same amount of effort. Balance sometimes could be 60-40, right? For me right now my balance is 60-40, 60 on my academics, 40 on my YouTube, right? Or it's even like 70-30, right? 70 on my academics and 30 on my YouTube. It's still balanced, right? So finding a healthy balance, right? In between like different things that you're engaged in. That's yeah, you need to know your priorities, right? Because that's what to set the pace for every other thing. That's what will help you choose what to do at every moment, right? When you're confused and stuff. My number two would be to manage yourself, be organized. If you know me, I am like me and organization. I can't do without like being organized. Like I don't know how you do it for yourself, but me, like every week I make like a to-do list, right? Every week, like let's say getting into the new week on Saturday or Sunday, I make like a to-do list of what is due next week. And beside what is due next week, let's say it's math assignment, I put Friday, and beside that Friday I put like Wednesday. So me, the Wednesday is for me to be done with it, so I don't really have to bother about it, like on Friday, right? Or something like that. And then So where did my head just right now? Yeah. So being organized, right? You have to be very, very organized because like I'm telling you, all the courses I did 4 courses this semester. Math, that's calculus. I did calculus, I did econs, I did sociology, and I did biology. I had biology and then I also had biolab. They were one course, but then they had like two different sections, right? So, and in each of them, I had math test every Wednesday, right from when school like started. Every Wednesday I have a math test. Every Monday I have an econs test. Every Friday I have a math assignment to submit. Every Friday I had a biology assignment to submit. Every Friday I had a biology lab quiz or assignment to submit. So imagine like not having a to-do list or not being organized and staying on top of these things. I was just missing deadlines here and there, here and there, here and there. So I already know, oh, going into next week, right? Let's say today is Saturday or Sunday, or let's say today is Saturday, right? Going into next week, I already know, oh, on Monday, I have an econs test. So today or tomorrow, I need to read for that econs test. On Wednesday, I have a math test. And my math teacher, like Lucas, he used to give us like a practice quiz and stuff. So I already know that starting from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I should have read for my econs test. I should have practiced the math lab quiz, right? So on Monday, and then I also know that, okay, on Friday, I have like 3 different assignments that are due to submit, right? So after like my test on Wednesday, after writing my test on Wednesday, my math test on Wednesday, after my math test on my econs test on Monday, my math test on Wednesday, and now know that, oh, I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to do the assignments that are due on Friday. So I have to just be organizing myself that way. I also like used to do my math assignment like during the weekends. I used to do my math assignments. I used to read for my econs. I also used to read for my math do the math lab quiz, so that like on Friday I don't have to worry about math assignment again. And also the math assignments used to help me practice for the test that I had the next Wednesday. So I will do the math lab quiz. I will also do the math assignment so that can be done with. I'm done with everything math before the next week. And the next week again, I still have another math test. So it was just like a cycle for me, a routine. It became my routine, right? Yeah, I also wanted to talk about that. It became my routine. So basically, you need to be organized. If not, and you will miss like grades and stuff. You will miss like even and again all those things are like math assignment. Now it was worth 7%, but I can tell you I know that it's because of my math assignment that I got into an A for my math, right? Because even if I started doing well in math and everything, after like some points, I still had like bad grades that I had from beginning of the semester. But because I did my math test like overall, it was worth like 7% of my grade. 7%, that's a lot. People will be like, oh, it's just 7%, or even if it was just 5%, oh, it's just 5%. But like that was a lot. I'm really, really sure that that was what got me into an A in math. So you need to don't be skip number one. What did I even say? Okay, number two, I'm on never don't like be organized, right? Never miss classes. Never miss classes. I never missed a class throughout this semester. I don't know, maybe people have different styles of learning, right? Some people like, don't like to listen to their lecturers, people like reading alone and stuff. For me, 80% of what I know I get from the class, right? Once I attend that class, basically 70%, I already know what the topic is about. I already know if you test me there and then on it, I will do above average, right? So if I go home, I know that okay, the reading that I have to do is not so much, like right. But if I had missed that class, it already puts me down. Like me, missing class is not a thing for me. So I never missed any class. The only class I missed was like the first week of school because I told you right, I had two bios, like one was lab and one was like normal lecture. But then I did not know that there were two different bios, right? And then I got an email for one saying that oh, bio kinicon does not start. Bio classes does like it doesn't. It's bio lab that they said, but I didn't know there were two different things. I thought they were the same bio. It doesn't start until next week. So I was like, oh, we don't have any classes Friday, and I came next week and I found out that oh, they had even gone like far in like the normal bio lecture and stuff. So it affects me a lot. Don't miss class as much as possible. Don't miss class. I won't advise it. Like I won't advise you to miss class. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying that like you always want to go to class. There are days when I didn't want to go to class. Like I'm telling you, even people like that I hung out with, there were days they didn't want to go to class. Like right, my friends. But then, my dear, not going to class is only not helping you. Right? It's not helping you at all. It's not. I don't know. Basically, my life is don't miss class. Right? Don't miss class. um. What else? Oh yeah, I think and yeah, I think there was another time when I missed my math class because that time I had like period pain. So there was no way, even if I was in class, there was no way I was going to listen and stuff. So those were the only 2 times I missed, one math class and one bio class. So yeah, don't miss class. Your grades accumulate. And I also want to talk about this, like your exams. People always think, oh, you're going to miss your assignments, test grades, and everything, and then you do well in your exams. My dear, it doesn't work that way. Like I just saw, like I think every course you take, you should. We used to say this thing back in my home country, Nigeria, right? Go through your course outline, go through clinical, so you can be prepared for. I never knew the importance of that thing, but coming here to TRE, I saw the importance. Looking at your course outline before the school starts, right? Before the semester starts, the teachers give you the course outline. You see the assignments that are due, even on Moodle, right? We use like this TRE platform called Moodle. Like literally, you see like all your assignments that are due, your assignments every week and everything. So you also see like how many percent like your quiz contributes to your course, your assignments contribute to your course, your exams contribute to your course. The highest that I had an exam contribute to my course this semester was 40%. I think that was math and was it econs also. But like imagine 40%. So the remaining 60, and bio too. Bio, like my exam was 40%, my bio lab and assignments and everything, those were like 60%. So imagine, basically what I now, my strategy was like to do well, make sure I do all my assignments, my quizzes, my tests and everything, so that when it's time for exam, I'm not struggling for grades. I know that even if something happens during the exam time, because I've done well in my other like times, right, I'm covered, right? So basically, and I noticed that happened to me in math, my math exam, right? That day I was so, because it was 3 hours. I had practiced and stuff, but then I was like, everything was just too much, right, in my head. At the point, it even got to a point like I was like crying in the exam hall, but then I was like, think, and stuff like that, because time was going. But then I'm sure that I made like some silly mistakes here and there and stuff like that. But then I was confident in the fact that, oh, my math assignments were like done. Also my quizzes, I had done quite fairly well in my quizzes and stuff. So I'm like, my dear, they accumulate. They accumulate. Do well in your tests, your quizzes, your assignments and stuff. All right. That was long. Number 3, it's like set goals, your grade goals. Aside from setting your grade goals, that's important, right? To have a goal. Remember, I was talking to like one of my friends like just a few weeks before the exam, and he was telling me, he was asking me like, oh, what are my goals and everything? Because I told him I wanted to like switch to nursing and stuff. So he was like, oh, so what's your goal for this semester? What's your grade and stuff? What are your grade goals for this semester? Or I think it was okay, yeah, because I was saying that I was struggling with biology, right? And he was like, oh, so I told him I got like 70% in my midterm, which was not so good for me. I was expecting like the least I was expecting was like 80 or 85, right? And I got 70%, and like it wasn't like good for me. So he was like, oh, so what are you aiming for the exam? I was like, oh, nothing less than a B, blah, blah, right? I was like, nothing less than a B or something like that. He was like, but specifically, be specific, like, what are you aiming for? I was like, oh, I want an A for my biology, right? And so that's what I started working towards. So it's important to have the goal, right? Write the vision, right? And make it plain so that he that sees it would run. That's what the Bible says. So basically, if there's nothing written, there's nothing. That's why I write a lot. If you're around me, I write a lot, because like, and again, the more you write, the more it sinks into your subconscious, right? Like when I write my to-do list, even if I don't see that to-do list for the rest of the day, because I took time to write it, I have like a mental picture of it in my head. Oh, I have to do this after this, or I have to do this after this, and stuff like that. So writing impresses it into your subconscious, right? So write the vision, make it plain, so that he that sees it, when you look at it, it gives you the energy to run. There's something about writing, right? So that's it. I would say, yeah, set your goals, and in those goals have structures, systems and routines. Like I just shared with you guys my routine, what became my routine, right? I knew, oh, every weekend I had to do my econs. I had to have done my econs, read for my econs test that I was having on Monday. I had to have read for my math test I was having. I had to have read halfway for my math test I was having on Wednesday, right? But econs test was my first priority because it was on Monday. So I had to make sure that, oh, Saturday and Sunday, or maybe even if I don't like get ready during like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I would stay up in the night to read for my test on Monday, right? And then I would also have done my math lab quiz and stuff. And what I even used to do, okay, I'll talk about that when I talk about the next points. Yeah, right. So basically, I'm just trying to emphasize that you should have, even if you have goals, if you don't have routines and structures, right? And what I mean by that is that if you don't have things that force you, routines and structures is like, it's like your lifestyle. You put them in place so that no matter what, you get to the end of your goal. Even if you forget your goal, right? Even if you don't remember your goal, if the routine and structure is in place, you would always end up hitting that goal because the routine and the structure to make it happen is your lifestyle, right? Like me now, even if I forgot that, my goal in econs was A, but every weekend I would stay up all night to read for my test. That's my routine, right? That was like the structure in my life that I put in my life. Every weekend I would stay up, I would read for my test. Um, I would attend classes, right? That was also a routine for me. That was a structure for me in my life. I would attend classes. I would never miss a class. I would do my assignments. I would never miss an assignment. Now, my head is not like when I was doing all those things, I was never always saying, oh, I'm looking for an A, I'm looking for an A. I was just focused on my routine and eventually it got me to my goal. Even if I forgot about my goal or I wasn't really concerned about the goal, eventually those steps accumulated and got me to my goal. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Um, so yeah, routine structures much more than goals. Much more than goals. Your routines and your structures like they matter. Number 4 is right association, right? So I wanted to talk about this in the other point. I'm like, oh, but like there's a point for it. Right association. You have to find the right group of people. If you are someone that wants to be serious in class, you have to find people that are serious in class also. Like me, during the weekends, sorry, on Friday, Saturday, Sundays, or like Saturday, yeah, like when like obviously every Friday we had to submit like a math assignment, right? So let's say yesterday was Friday, last week's math assignment was we had already submitted that. Now next week Friday there's another math assignment, but then I would stay in school with some of my friends. I don't know if you guys know Tommy, right? Tommy was also in my math class. So with Victor, one of my other friends, initially like what we used to do is that we stay in school and then we would, before we go home that Friday, right, we would do our math assignments like together, right? We would do our math assignment together. If we don't get to do it together in school, at a point we were doing it over a video call, like over video call. Like I would call Tommy and we would do the math assignment together just to make sure that. So if you don't have the right set of people around you, you can also like not be serious and not get the grades that you want to get. So your association is also important, right? And also I remember there were times where sometimes like I didn't even want to go to class and stuff, but then people around me were serious. Told me was serious, told me not used to miss class and stuff like that. So my roommates, they never used to miss class and stuff. So I'm just like I cannot be like the unserious one, right? Even I'm sure there were sometimes even told myself they don't want to go to class, right? But then I don't know if he thought about it, but then when you're around serious people, right, you will not be like, oh, you will not want to miss class. I'm sure there was times he don't want to go to class. Like I think his English class number one, like he just don't want to go. But then you sometimes you don't even know it is happening or within you. But then you don't know like what force is responsible for it. But then just because you've been around serious people, just because you've been around people that don't miss their classes, you will not want to miss your class, even if you're not actively thinking about it. It's just there in your subconscious. You will not want to miss your class, right? So I'm just saying, right association is good. Find the right association of people, right? That's number 4. And number 5, make use of office hours. If you guys watch the video I did with, was it to me? I don't know if you get like answering questions and stuff. It was one of the things we said, right? The teachers here are very, very like, what's it called? Calm. Like they're not like gods over you. Basically, you can talk to them, you can ask them for help. They have office hours, and the office hours are like they're listed out. Everything is listed out in your course outline. That's why your course outline is very important. Read your course outline by the time like school resumes, like once school starts and everything, and then you go for your first class. The teacher will always talk about the course outline. The first class is always like about the course outline, your deadlines, assignments, how like the class would roll and stuff. Like if you're going to be having tests every week, they'll tell you. If you're going to be having assignments every week, they'll tell you when the assignments are due every week and stuff. So for some teachers it's every Sunday 11:55 p.m. For some people it's every Friday 11:59 p.m. So they would like you would know. So basically, don't miss your first class. Don't miss like your first classes and stuff also, because that's where like you get to know, oh, this is how this class is. You can now prepare yourself and stuff. You can begin to plan your timetable and stuff like that. So yes, your teachers have office hours and they're also on the course schedule, the course outline. So I remember, like, for my econs at a point, I was having the exam the next day, but then I didn't understand the last topic we did, which was um foreign policy, right? Foreign sector or something like that. And I was just having issues, how to calculate capital account and current account and stuff like that, balance of payments, trade, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what the hell is this? And so I contacted my teacher, like I emailed him. I went to my office to his course outline. I saw his email. I emailed him. Also, can we meet up, like, sorry, this was like 2 days before my exam. I was like, can we meet up the next day, right? So I could, like, he could explain everything to me and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, cool, yeah. I met up with him like the next day, and he even gave me, like, he came with his textbook to explain to me and stuff like that. And he told me to, like, take pictures. So I was taking pictures. I was just like, sir, please, can I, like, is there anywhere I could get this textbook and stuff from? So and he was like, oh, you can have the textbook and just return it to me, like, after the exam and stuff. So your teachers that teach you conduct your exams, right? So it's not like in Nigeria where, like, anybody from any department can just come and conduct your exam. It's you're having sociology exam and a math teacher is conducting the exam. Here, your teachers, basically your lecturers, are the ones that conduct the exams. So before the exam started, I just went up to him, I gave him the textbook and everything, and he helped. Right, I got help that way. I even got the text that nobody else got, and I was able to study the textbook, and the funny thing, that was like the last question on the exam. Calculate the current the balance of payments and calculate the capital account, calculate the current account and stuff like that. So imagine if I had not done that. That's how I failed that question. I got an A plus in econs. I wouldn't have gotten an A plus in econs. Probably I would have gotten an A or something. So basically, make use of your office hours. Number 6 would be ask questions, participate in class. That's another thing. Another reason why he was even willing to give me that textbook was, like, in every econs class I used to participate. I answer questions, I ask questions. Even all my classes, my sociology classes is the same thing. My sociology class was more of like a discussion class and everything. So we would discuss, I would ask questions, I would give my opinions, right? So basically become friendly with your lecturers. When you're friendly with your lecturers, number one, even if you don't do so well, right? And you get a bad grade, they will not want to just give you the bad grade like that. Sometimes they can, help you and, like, just give you like 1 mark more. And you never know, that 1 mark more may be like what you need to get a B, or what you need to get an A, or what you need to get a C, right? So be friendly with your lecturers, right? Ask questions, let them know you, right? I never used to understand that thing, especially when I was in Nigeria. I was like, I don't want my lecturer to know me. I used to avoid going to lecturers. I avoid it at all costs, right? And I understand we have some issues, but, like, in Nigeria, because of that. But, like, I'm just like, right here, if you're in TRU, or, like, if you're coming to TRU, basically, I'm just talking because I'm in TRU, right? Make use of your office hours. Go to the lecturers, ask them for questions. Even in class, participate. Even if you don't want to use their office hours, participate in class, ask questions, let them know that you're in their class, right? So this way, if they're marking your script, they're not so like, oh, who the hell is this student and stuff like that. Once they see your name, they recognize you. So even if you make a mistake, they're like, oh, this is not how it's supposed to be. They may even give you the mark and say, oh, but this is not how it's supposed to be and stuff like that, right? So basically, yeah, I saw that work for me like a lot of times. Trust me, it worked for me like a lot of times. Also, yeah, and number 7 is the last one, is read. There's this thing that, like, my friend used to say. He promised back in Nigeria. He used to say, read like you don't pray, pray like you don't read. So I don't know, I've never forgotten that since I saw it. I think he posted it on his status one time. So every time I'm reading, or I'm doing like academic work, or maybe it's time for exam or stuff, I always remember that thing, read like you don't pray, pray like you don't read, right? So you don't lose both ways. It's like a win-win kind of situation, right? So because God is not going to come and write your exam for you. Your empty head is not going to write your exam for you. You need to do the work. It is the work of your hands that He will bless, right? It is what you have on your hands that He can bless. If there is nothing on your hands, if there is nothing in your head, He can't work with anything. You can't work with nothing. You need capital to work on, right? So, whilst you are reading, pray too. And I'm not just saying it because I'm saying it. I just want to say it for saying sake. I saw this work for me specifically like 2 different times that I am aware of. Talk more of the times that I'm not even aware of, right? So 2 different times that I am aware of. Like basically in my econs, I was just sharing with me the other day that I made this huge mistake, right? There was this thing called price ceiling and price floor. I knew the definition, but it was like the opposite in econs. Normally, your ceiling is at the top, right, and the floor is on the floor. But like the floor is down. But then in econs, price ceiling is down and price floor is up. So I already knew, oh, it's the other way around in econs, right? So I was like, after I finished like writing my exam, I was just like, I wanted to go and submit because it was econs. For me, I find econs easy. Number one, I did econs in secondary school and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I won't have problem with econs, right? But I wanted to do really, really well because I was like, oh, this is something I had done before. So even if I don't want to get an A, I want to get an A plus in it, right? So, but because of that mistake, I would have probably just ended up in an A. But then when I was done with my exam, I was like, I beg, I'm going to go and submit. I don't want to cross check. But I remember I prayed before writing that paper. And then when I was like, let me just go and submit, I don't know, I just felt, it's not like I heard a voice saying, oh, sit down and cross check. Something in the Holy Spirit actually was just like, cross check your work, right? So I just, and then I was like cross checking from front to back. I was even like, oh, there's no way I made mistake and stuff like that. So I was just going until I got to that page and I saw that I had mistaken like everything that I wrote for price floor. But I wrote like the correct thing, right? It was like defining price floor and price ceiling. But I like switched the both of them the other way around. But when I was cross checking, I was like, oh my god, this how would have failed this thing. And it's not like I did not know it, right? I sharply just cancelled the top. I wrote price ceiling, cancelled the floor, cancelled the bottom. I wrote price floor and stuff for the explanations that were there. I had defined them correctly, but then I mixed up the titles, right? So I was just like, oh my god, this how, and I would have been wondering what the hell did I do wrong because I didn't even see my script. I was like, I would have been like, what the hell did I do wrong, right? But like, imagine, and also, I remember one time it happened again in my math when I forgotten what was happening. Whether I did not know how to like, I knew how to solve it, but I had forgotten like a particular step. Oh my god! And I was like, what is this? What is this? Basically, it just started flowing. Like I remember, I also prayed before I wrote that test. It just started flowing. So, my dear, I'm just telling you, read like you don't pray, pray like you don't read, pray like you just know that you've not read anything. You know, the only person that you have to help you is God, and then read like you don't have God. Like read like you're depending on yourself to do your to get your grades, right? So it's a win-win kind of situation. So basically those are like my 7 tips on I don't know, I can't see how many minutes this video is. If I would have to divide it into 2, I hope I don't have to do so. But like those are my 7 tips for getting good grades. Yeah, so we're going into like the fall semester. Right now it's already summer, but then we're going into the fall semester. So if you didn't really get the grades that you wanted this semester, right? Because I get that everybody has like different goals and stuff. So if you didn't really get the grades that you wanted this semester, fall is another semester for you to up your grades, right? And even me myself too, I didn't even think about all these points until I actually sat down and I was like, when I saw my grades, right, I was so happy that I got these grades and stuff. I was so happy. But I was just like, I sat down and thought about it. I was like, I actually put in the work. Right, I put in the work. There was sometimes, I'm telling you, there was sometimes I was lazy. Sometimes I was lazy and stuff. I was so done, especially like with math tests, even bio. Like I was done sometimes, but then I just kept remembering, maybe you need these grades. You need this grade. You need this grade, right? So and also just basically, I'm just saying that bad things happen sometimes, right? We don't always get what we want, right? So that's why like there are things called second chances, like there are other opportunities, right? So fall semester is like another opportunity for you to do well also. So yeah, you could implement these grades or implement these steps, right? And me too, talking about it just made me like, reminisce and like, see that, oh, things have to be in place for me to get those grades. I can't, and next semester now, I can't just drop that. I can't just not go for classes, not be on time for my assignments, not put in the work needed for my assignments, and do the research needed for my work and stuff like that. So I've just seen that, okay, hard work actually pays, right? But you have to put in the work. You have to put in the work. It's needed. Oh, my throat is so dry. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video that I'm going to do, whatever that is. I just shot 2 videos now. Like I shot the accommodation video. I'm going to change and now I'm shooting this video for school. this grades video. So I've talked a lot today. I'm tired. All right. Bye. Until we see. Right. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.
You are obviously strikingly gorgeous, and you know this.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.